G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so what we're going to be going through today is we're going to be learning about how to change a tap washer. Yep, quite simple, but always needs to happen and it's great to know. Alright, so I've been looking at some of these YouTube clips and seeing that they're not actually up to date or up to scratch. So what I've started to do is do these videos for one. Two, I've also written up a checklist for step-by-step process if you're more of a, visual learner. Alright, so as you can see, here is the videos I've been looking at. They're quite old and outdated, and this is the step-by-step checklist that I'm going to have uploaded by the end of the video. So even if you want to go skip to the end and have a look at that checklist, it will all be there for you, unless you want to hear my voice talking you through it step by step. But let's jump into it. Alright, you may or may not know this already, but every house has some sort of isolation valve. So it's called a water meter. Alright, it's either on the left hand side or the right hand side of the property. If you can't find it, have a look at your neighbours and it'll be there. Alright, so mine is on the left hand side of my property, and that's what it looks like. And this is the valve, alright? So you turn that, you just keep turning until you feel it stop hard. Alright, so that's hardly stopped. Alright, and then after that, we'll go over to the tap and we're going to drain all the water out of the house. Alright, do this first. Alright, so every house will have a garden tap, alright? Every house should have a garden tap. This is my garden tap, so what you do, turn it on, see? Just let it drip out, and there's going to be no water after a certain amount of time. Alright, just make sure you leave that on while you're servicing your taps, alright? Because any excess water is just going to come out of that tap, alright? Instead of flooding the house. Let's go inside. Alright, here we are in the bathroom. Before we even grab our tools and everything, what I want to do is you want to lay out a towel, alright? I've already laid out the towel, it's already there, alright? But when you're working in your house, you don't want the tools to scratch, alright? Because you've got metal against porcelain most of the time. Alright, so here we are, I'll walk you through the tools. Alright, so you've got the shifter, alright? Needle nose, and nice and easy to use. You've got your multi-grips, and you've got your Stanley knife. Alright, you're also going to need a drill of some type. Alright, let's go through what's actually inside the tap. Here you have your two fiber washers. That's going to stop the tap from leaking on the outside. These are the O-rings that go on the inside. They're going to stop the tap from leaking from the inside. And these are the washers as well that are on the inside of the tap. They're going to stop the actual tap from dripping. Okay. You've got your tap lube, so it's nice and easy to turn off. This is a receding tool. All right. It's got a tungsten tip that makes a nice seal for the washer to sit on. All right. And this here is to clean out all the excess gunk that you have inside the actual taps. And I'll show you how to use all that as well. All right, let's jump into it. All right, here we are. The tap isn't dripping at the moment, but if it was, this is what you'd do. Grab your shifter. You'd place it neatly on there, all right? Make sure you don't have it open and loose like this, all right? Or else you're just gonna create damage on the actual tap itself. So nice and tight. All right, then you turn it off. There we go. All right, so that cracked it. And now you could do it with your fingers. So that comes off. Your tap lifts like that. And here we are. I've already done it to the cold, but let's work with the hot for now. All right, next step is to actually get this cover off. My one is nice and easy. It's quite loose. Always spin as if you're taking off, let's say, a Coke bottle lid. All right, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Here we have the spindle body. All right, so this is a spindle body. What you want to do now, you've got it all off. This is before you actually take that spindle off. You want to check to make sure there is no pressure. So put your tap back on and open it up. See, a little bit of pressure still in the line. Open that all the way up. Alright, this is also to check to see if you need any seal replacement. Alright, it's a good time to check. Some people do it before they actually take the cover plate off, but I recommend you do it while you have the cover off so you can actually see what's going on underneath the tap. Alright, I'll do the same for the cold. This one's nice and loose. Alright, and we'll do exactly the same. Just put it on and open it up. All the way till it stops. There we go, nice and loose. All right, again, what I recommend, nice and tight with the shifter. you'll see that they'll have a hex there ready to go. All right, put it on, a little bit of pressure, and 3, 2, 1, and you crack it open. All right, nice big crack. And that will release it from the actual tap body itself. So you see how we've wound it all the way up? Therefore, you're not actually impeding on anything. All right, see, this is a quite a new tap washer. All right, I've done my taps quite recently, but generally you'll find that these are either really hard. This one's actually getting a little bit hard, all right, and they need replacing. What I tend to do, all right, is I have these nice, I guess you'd nearly say it's copper. Yeah, you would. It's copper. All right, you had these nice copper ones. I like it because they got plenty of rubber on them and they're actually a copper base. So what I do is I get my multi-grips, all right, just pinch the top, all right, give it a nice squeeze. All right, that gives it a little bit of a dent, all right, a little bit of indents. You may not be able to see it, all right, and that will stop it from whistling or spinning. You can see my tap in there is quite neat and tidy, all right, with no abrasions. But if your tap's leaking, what you're gonna need to do is use the receding tool. So the receding tool goes on there, you screw it all the way down, you attach your drill to the end of that, all right? I'll attach the drill, give me 1 sec. All right, so as you can see, the drill is on there. The reason why I can take my hand off it and actually show you guys is because this body here needs to be all the way down. It has to be nice and firm, all right? You need to be able to tighten that up with your shifter before you actually put the drill onto it, okay? And then once it's on there, put your drill in a normal clockwise motion, pull the trigger for only about 5 to 6 seconds. And then turn it off, all right? What you want to do is you do not want to overdo it, all right? You want to make sure that you do this 3, 5, maybe even 6 or 7 times and check it every time you do it, all right? Because you can go straight through the tap body if you're not careful, all right? So really can't enforce it enough, especially if you've got a new tungsten tip. They're quite powerful and you want to be checking it every single time you do it, all right? Only put it on for about 2 to 3 seconds and then check it, all right? I'll show you what it looks like in the next one. All right, now that we've reseated it, you can see there's quite a glow and a shine to it, all right? So what happens there is the washer actually sits over like that, all right? So it actually sits flush, the washer sits flush with the new receded part, all right? Normally what happens, you'll find cuts and abrasions inside this part here. You can put your finger in there, run it around, and you'll feel that a little notch or something, and that will generally mean, or be the main reason why your tap's still leaking. A lot of people come up and say to me, hey, how come? All right, I know it's been a lot of information. The reason why we do use the receding tool, all right? The reason why we use it is because a lot of people think, oh, I've just replaced my washers and my tap's still leaking, all right? The reason for your tap to be still leaking is because the actual body itself needed to be receded, all right? Receding means it brings it back to a nice level, all right? If everything's level and the washer sits flush on it, therefore it's not going to leak, all right? Because the gap between the actual washer and the scratch, that's where you're finding your leak. It's not got really anything to do with the actual washer itself. It's got to do with the tap body. All right, I'll show you how to put it all back together. All right, so your next step is you've got your actual spindle piece. Easiest way to do it, get the tap handle, right, and turn it on. Turn the tap on. All the way on. All right, you'll find that it will come out like that, okay? What you want to do is make sure everything is nice and neat. Put this one aside, check those washers there, all right? You'll see that this spindle has 2 washers. And that's these black washers that I was talking about before. All right, make sure all the way around this here has been lubed up. So what you want to do, get some toilet paper, wipe it all off, all right, which is what I'm about to do now. Grab some toilet paper, clean it all up, put some new tap lube on. Let's do that now. All right, so my tap is all lubed up, nice, neat, ready to go. All right, so I'm gonna put that to one side. Make sure, just put it on your rag, put it on your towel. Doesn't really matter. All right, now this other piece. This is the interesting tool that you use with it. All right, so if you remember the same way that the spindle came out, you want to screw that back in. All right, you'll find after a while, you start to see it come out the other end. All right, this gets rid of all the excess grease inside your tap, which causes seizing and also makes it really hard to turn on and off. Now, with your new tap lube, your new cleaned inside of your spindle, you'll be able to use just your fingers and pull it all back together. All right, make sure once you've done this, it's all flat there. All right, nice and flat. Sweet. Next thing we want to do, this is where your Stanley knife comes in. Open up your Stanley knife, be very careful not to cut yourself. And you put the Stanley blade in between the washer, right, and run that around. All right, that will cut the actual fiber washer off, nice and easy. Grab your new fiber washer. You may need to fiddle around with it a little bit. Sometimes you need to screw them on. Sometimes you just need to give it a couple of times, and it should go in there nice and neat. There are certain fiber washers that will fit properly. Perfect. There we go. Make sure it's nice and flush. Run your fingers all the way around so it's nice and flush again. All right. Show you how to put it back on. Here we go. Okay. So now we have our tap. We've got our new receded inside of the spindle, inside the tap body, sorry. All you do, put your washer inside the hole. On. Just do a finger tight for now. All right, once you can't tighten it anymore with your hands, grab your shifter. All right, this is the fun part. Grab your shifter and just go 3, 2, 1, push. All right, and that will seal it. All right, that's all sealed, ready to go. Next step, we've done that to both of them now. What you want to do now is you want to run out to the water meter. All right. All right, this is the next step. Some plumbers don't do this, but I really recommend doing it. Grab your shifter and you'll find on your spout, you'll have a gauze, okay? Or a filter. Crack it open with your needle nose pliers. Open it up. That's it. And check the filter. All right. You don't want the filter on there when you turn the water back on, right? Because all the receding stuff that you just put into the tap body with the receding tool is going to be coming out of that spout as soon as you turn the water back on. All right. If you have 2 people, it's really good for one person to go turn the water main on while you as a plumber stand here. All right. But if you're not keen on that, what you want to do at this stage, just turn your taps off. All right, turn them off. Keep going all the way, nice and tight. All the way, nice and tight. All right, and we'll just leave it there for now. All right, let's go back out to the meter. All right, so we're back at the meter. What we want to do, again, turn it on just a little bit. All right, so just keep turning and leave it. You're gonna notice there's a clicking sound. All right, I'll show you exactly why that is. All right, so the reason why there's a clicking sound is because the water is still turned on. All right, so you wanna go to your tap, turn it off. All right, why do we leave that on when we turn it on? The reason why we leave that tap on is because we want to bleed all the air out of the line. All right. So while we're bleeding all the air out of the line, turning the tap on, walking inside, and we're here. Here's the taps that we just serviced. All right. Put your tap back on like that, and let's crack it open. All right, that's great. Nice steady flow. You'll notice at the start there when I turned it on, the flow wasn't constant. All right, the reason why it wasn't constant is because it was filling up with debris. All right, you don't want the debris in the line, and you want a constant flow. Once there's a constant flow, you can free to turn that tap off. All right, let's get back into putting it back together. All right, so we've got our cover plate, goes all the way down. Do both at the same time, all the way down. Sometimes it's actually a good time to clean here, right? Clean around these taps, right? Sometimes they can get quite dirty, right? Just over time. All right, put your taps back on like so. Perfect. All right, remember, hot, always on your left. All right, just do it hand tight for now. All right. Great. All right, so now all our taps are back together. We still do need to tighten both of those. We also need to put our strainer back on. All right, so what you want to do is you want to crack the hot, crack the cold. All right, you're going to notice a nice steady flow. I want to be able to turn it off just with my fingers and put no pressure on there. All right, perfect. That's what you want to see. You'll notice a couple of drips like that, but that's okay because it's just coming through the spout still. All right, I'll show you how to tighten it back together. All right, same as we just took it off, tighten it up with our fingers, put our shifter firmly on there and just give it a nice touch. All right, these taps are going to be quite tricky. Just give me 1 sec. All right, so with these taps, how to actually tighten this, and if it's all loose like that, what you want to do, grab your shifter, hold your fingers, all right, get that nice tightness around the top, hold against the actual tap itself and tighten with the shifter. Perfect. No troubles there, easy to do, and you can do that in any situation. All right, it's so simple. People are like, oh, my taps are all loose, and now you know how to fix it. All right, sweet. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Cheers. All right, so we didn't turn the water meter on all the way last time, and the reason for that is because we didn't want too much pressure going through to begin with. All right, now what we're gonna do, go back over to the water meter, turn it all the way on, all right, until it stops. Now it's stopped. What you want to do is go 1, 2 back. All right, that's not going to stop your water flow, but it is imperative to do. All right, so you actually don't get your tap seizing up. All right, you want to be able to do that with your water meter. You do not want it to be turned all the way on. All right, if it's turned all the way on, you get that problem of your water meter will seize up and you won't be able to turn it off sometimes if you really needed to. All right, fantastic. Thanks, and please subscribe. Cheers. See you on the next one. All right, so we're at the end of the video now. We're sort of wrapping everything up, and I really hope that video helped. All right, like I promised you guys that I would show you the step-by-step process. Here it is. Please pause the video, write that down. All right, I am also a TAFE teacher. All right, I do teach at New South Wales TAFE, Wyong, which is up in the Central Coast. All right, so you boys who actually know who I am will be laughing at these videos, I'm sure. All right, please put a comment down the bottom, subscribe, let me know how I'm going, let me know how I can improve. All right, I really would love the feedback. All right, hope to hear from you soon. Cheers.